Hi, this is Ashley,
And Cindy,
and this is Life for Dummies.
because we're real dumb.
Yeah, you have no idea. What are we talking about today?
I thought we should talk about whether or not you take everything as a personal attack.
Holy cow, dive right in there, Cindy.
Yeah, we're gonna get it started today. But I'm gonna ask you that. Do you take everything as a personal attack today?
I definitely used to.
Mm.
I definitely used to. Today, not so much as I used to, actually. And that's really a blessing. I would say it depends on my spiritual condition for the moment. And if my spiritual condition is intact, then I'm not so apt to judge and assume that everything is about me and people are attacking me in some way. What about you?
Well, like you, today, not everything is personal. It's not a personal attack, and it's not all about me. But it used to be, that's for sure. But it definitely depends on my spiritual condition. If I am in a great place and I'm centered and, I've done everything I need to do in the morning when I get up, like I do readings, I pray, I meditate, and yes, I do this. I work on my gratitude list. I do this every morning because it puts me in a space of gratitude. It puts me in a space where I'm reminded that I am very lucky to just be alive. And if I am feeling all of those things and I am happy, joyous, and free, then you know what? Everything isn't a personal attack because I, first of all, remember that everybody else is probably going through something that I have no idea about. And so it's not personal. They might just be having a bad day, and I am on the receiving end of that.
What I like to do is not make it personal. That's a
Yeah.
big one because if I take the position and assume that the person is doing this as an attack and it's a personal attack, I then retaliate and suddenly it actually does become personal when it wasn't to begin with.
That's a really good point. And the thing is, too, like today, because I'm not so selfish and self centered, everything does not revolve around me. And like, I know that I don't have to react to somebody. I can simply just stop interacting with them and walk away. And that like solves the whole issue right there in the first place. It never gets started if I can respond like that.
I love it because then when I walk away, I have all this time and I can do whatever I want with it. Whereas if I had gotten involved in the chaos of that moment, it would have spent 2 hours of my day dealing with the things that would have resulted. And all of that would have been kind of like a negative Eeyore rain cloud over my head. And then I would have had to adjust my attitude from that to positive just to get through the rest of the day.
Right. But here's the thing. So if you do by accident take something as a personal attack, what can we do to get out of that, right? So I like the saying that you can restart your day at any time. That's a good one, right? Like, yeah, you can just stop, take a breath, pause, and like, all right, we're not doing this today. We're going to start over right now.
Right. They told me that in the beginning, and it was like, yeah, right. What do you mean I can restart my day at any time? Because the day is already halfway through, or, I would get angry about something at 5 p.m. at night, and I'm like, it's basically nighttime. What are you doing? What are you talking about? Restart my day. And it's still, I'll be honest with you. I mean, I know we're talking about it, but for our viewers, that aspect of restarting my day is one of the toughest parts of this new way of life for me.
Really?
Yeah, I don't know why, because it's like a split second change that is very difficult because I'm feeling so strongly about something. It's easier for me to get it out and to call someone, talk about it, or journal it out, or I guess those are my two ways of dealing with it, as opposed to just being able to myself in my own mind stop and restart my day. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it is a tough one, and it gets easier with practice, right? And all of these things we talk about get easier over time, and the more consistent you are with them, the easier it becomes. And it's like a practical daily practice of these principles that we talk about in order to be able to restart your day and surrender and everything, and it seems like so much, but it's really not. Once you start doing it, it just becomes habit. And what's that thing? It takes like 3 weeks to create a habit or something. Isn't that what they say?
21 days. Yep.
Oh my gosh, wow. I know some stuff. Yeah.
You're real smart.
So smart. Actually, I'm real dumb sometimes. But, so 21 days of like doing this stuff consistently, and it becomes easier to just pause, take a breath, and restart your day and not let everything be a personal attack or, they have it out for me. And I think a lot of times, like, I had that mentality that it was a personal attack because I was ready to attack anyone, like, at any moment, like, I was not a nice person. And so that was the way I behaved. So I just expected it from everyone else, right?
That's a good point. And another aspect of it too, and this is actually how I maintain so much peace on a day-to-day basis, is I won't even go down that path in my mind. Like, if somebody starts coming after me and I don't know why, and they're all upset, I just don't assume it's about me anymore. And I'm like, how can I get out of this conversation as quickly as possible and go back to whatever it was I was doing? Right. And that's where, as long as I keep myself in that modality, in that state of being, then I never really get all worked up. And I don't have to do that restart. So that's why I usually maintain so much peace every day, because I'm able to keep those spiritual principles right there at bay. But when I start to get really worked up over something, it is, like I had just said earlier, more difficult for me to kind of like snap out of it.
Well, I have learned that along this journey and process that anything that costs me my peace is entirely too expensive, right? Like and it's not like people take my peace. I give it away. And it's no one taking it. And we need to that's very clear right here. I give it away. When my peace is gone, it's because I make a conscious decision to give it to someone else because I am engaging in something that is not good for me. And, it's a fact of life. And so there's certain things I can do to get it back. And starting my day over is one of them. Writing my gratitude list. Sorry. I have like a journal. I have a gratitude journal, but I also have a list on my phone because my journal is not always right there. And I will just jot a couple things down on my gratitude list on my phone because it just takes me back to this place where I am like, you know what? You can't let this one person or one thing bother you. Like, you can't take this personal because it's not. And you need to get yourself back into a state of just pure joy and happiness.
I love that. Yes, and I really like what you had said about how typically I bring it upon myself because I'm putting myself in some kind of situation that is chaotic and is causing those feelings of angst and frustration. And that's key too. Removing those parts of our lives as quickly as possible from ourselves. That's really the key to ultimate long-term fulfillment, satisfaction, joy, and peace.
Yeah, it's just that goes back to that saying, you just have to change one thing, everything.
Everything. You got this.